You ever get that feeling that you're just living life without a script? That the old rule book for how to be successful and happy just got tossed out the window? Well, we're gonna dive into why so many of us feel this way and what it means to have something called a haphazard self.
Yeah, it's a super common feeling, isn't it? Like you're just making it all up as you go along. But let's be honest, when your whole life feels like one long improv scene, it can be absolutely exhausting. It turns out that feeling points to a really deep human need for a specific kind of certainty, and there's actually a name for it. And that need is for ontological security. Okay, it's a bit of a mouthful. As researcher David Morgan joked, it's not exactly a catchy slogan you chant in the streets, right? But man, does it get to the heart of what so many people are looking for. And this goes way beyond just physical safety. We're talking about a fundamental sense of stability in who you are.
So let's just break that down. What does it really mean? Ontological security is that deep-seated feeling that things are stable. It's the confidence that the world is more or less predictable and that your role in it is clear, that it actually makes sense. It's the feeling that you've got solid ground under your feet no matter what happens.
Okay, so if this feeling is so important, the big question is, where did it go? Why does it feel like it's slipping away for so many of us? Well, research suggests it's because the traditional social anchors that used to give us that stability are eroding. So let's take a look at what those anchors actually were.
For generations, these were pretty much the big three: a steady job you could count on, a traditional family structure, and being part of a religious community. Think about it. These institutions gave life a predictable shape, a script. They gave people their attachments, their beliefs, and the rituals that guided their lives and gave them meaning.
And here's the kicker. This is the really crucial part. For a lot of working-class men today, the connection to these anchors is weak. It's tenuous, as the researchers put it. That once clear path, you get a stable job, you support a family, you're part of the community, that whole roadmap is fractured now. It's just deeply, deeply uncertain.
And this is so interesting because it leads to two totally different outcomes. Without those old guides, a small number of people might actually find the freedom to create new, even more rewarding lives. But for the majority, the struggle is real. They find it hard to get any traction, and often they end up losing ground, just slipping backward.
So this struggle, this lack of a clear script for life, leads directly to what researchers have started calling the haphazard self.
So, what is the haphazard self? Well, it's an identity that's constantly in flux. It's when a person bounces between different goals, different jobs, different ideas of who they're supposed to be. And because of that, they find it incredibly hard to just commit to one path and actually make progress on it.
Think of it like this. It's like having a compass that's supposed to point you north, but instead, it's just spinning wildly, around and around. It's constantly searching for a direction, for some kind of magnetic pull, but it just can't find one. That frantic feeling? That's the haphazard self.
Now, I know this is all a bit abstract, so let's bring it down to earth with a real-world example. An anthropologist named Jennifer Silva went to a town she calls Brook in Pennsylvania to see how these huge social shifts were actually affecting people on the ground. And man, this quote from her work is just so powerful. It really gets to the violence of these changes. It's not a gentle shift. The word she uses, ripped open, it suggests a tear in the very fabric of people's lives, leaving them just scrambling to pick up the pieces and try to make themselves whole again. And in her research leading up to the 2016 election, Silva observed something interesting. For some of the people in Brook, Donald Trump was seen as a man's man. Her findings suggest that, in a time of great uncertainty, there was a search for a figure who seemed to embody a more traditional, assertive kind of masculinity. And the search for a new script, this attempt to piece the self back together, it takes a lot of different forms. As Silva's research shows, people will grasp for pretty much anything that provides a sense of identity. Some of these paths are constructive, like a renewed commitment to religion or a focus on self-improvement. But others are far more destructive, like turning to ideologies such as white nationalism or the tragic escapism of opioids. All of them, though, in their own way, are attempts to build a new anchor in a really turbulent world. Okay, so let's pull back for a second. What's the big picture here? Why does understanding this idea of the haphazard self really matter? Well, let's break down the cycle we've just been exploring. It's really a three-step process. First, those old institutions that gave us stability, they fade away. Second, that creates the haphazard self, that identity without a clear direction. And third, people are left scrambling to find new and often pretty fragile ways to define who they are and where they fit in the world. And that leaves us with this final, and I think crucial question. Because this isn't just about one town or one group of people. As the world keeps changing at this incredible pace, We all face this challenge. If the old guides are gone, what new stories, what new scripts are we going to write? For ourselves and for society as a whole.